One more point about the match.
Man.
So in my free time, I'm going to try to look this up. So I really want to look up here some advanced stuff here, right?
Okay.
Because I wonder if how good this backline actually has been. Or have they been that good? Or we all know how good Andre Blake is. And Andre Blake's missed a lot of time. And so in the meantime, with Andre Blake being out this year, we've had Oliver Zemla going through essentially his rookie pains. But I think Oliver has proven that he can be a starting goalie in this league. He's gone through the bumps and bruises of, the rookie season, you may call it. And so, like, I'm just, because a lot of the goals that we have allowed and that you mentioned, Renee, I could think like the majority of them, I wouldn't pin it all on Oliver Zemla. Like,
No.
Andre Blake, like, think about how many times you've seen Andre make ridiculous save after ridiculous save. So that's something I would definitely, like, we're looking and dissecting this back line. Are they regressing? Is it just a team issue? But one thing we haven't really looked at is, are we really missing Andre Blake? And also, too, Andre's extremely vocal. Okay.
Very.
If there's a shot opportunity, he's the first one up and screaming at whoever, like, yo, you got to get him. You got to get his way. And that's something they do miss. Now, Oliver's learning that a little by little.
He's a rookie.
And
he's not going to have that.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's tough to, like, bark at some of these veteran players, like, yo, we need to get your assignment or whatnot. So that's something that he's going to have to learn. But I'm just curious.
Like that. Yeah, you need to get your assignment or whatnot.
Get your assignment or whatnot, bro. Come on now. But I'm
Pick
curious.
up your guy, man.
I'm curious if some of this regression from the back line is that Andre's been absent for a good amount of time. That's something I'm gonna look into.
No, it's a really good point because of a few things. One is the leadership, as you talk about. That communication is what has been missing. And I know I asked Jim about it. He didn't really give me the answer I was looking for. He gave a kind of different answer of, like, realistically, what are you guys doing to change these communication issues? Because we're seeing guys running wide open into the box. We're seeing guys that beat the first defender, and there's no help defender ready to close them down, and there's so much space around them. Whereas Andre Blake is one that has always urged and organized and coached them and picked them back up and even got into them at times. Like maybe Glesnes is struggling because he doesn't have Andre Blake. And he's obviously, the two have been paired together their entire career with the Union, and maybe he is dealing with the fact that Andre was the one that helped him stay where he was supposed to be and helped him, stay locked in and focused. And then on the other side of it, first of all, is this partly why Andre is having all these injuries? His body is exhausted from all the years of having to save the backline of the Philadelphia Union. Then now he's breaking down and dealing with, fluid in the knee and things like that. But you wonder how much he's been covering for this backline over the years. And if anything, it makes me appreciate Andre Blake that much more for his talent, for his 3-time Goalkeeper of the Year award, because this defense as a team, not just the back four, is not the same without him.
Yeah.
They're drastically missing like the piece, the glue that holds them all together. And again, Oliver Zemla is playing really well. Kudos to him. It's not a knock on him of what he's not doing. I think it's more about what Andre Blake makes up for with this team. And we're seeing how they are essentially lost at times defensively, in transition, on set pieces, marking. These are the things that a goalie can actively alleviate. But it needs to come from someone else then. And who is that going to be? It's got to be somebody else. Jack Elliott's got to speak up. Or when Damian Lowe's out there, like, somebody else has to be that vocal piece to fill in the void that Andre Blake is clearly has left.
Yeah, because, like, listen, here's my thing. Like, I'm watching the match last night. I'm watching Jakub Glesnes make some terrible passes, some terrible positioning. And, like, he does not look anything like that 2022 Defensive Player of the Year, which is so concerning. And so, like, obviously I get a little bit of my Negadelphia feels, and I start thinking, like, is this another player that regressed? Like, are we going to go through another player who had a great season and he just regressed and fell off the face of the earth? Like, I don't want to think that whatsoever. So that's why I want to look into maybe it's Andre. And if that's the case, that's not a good thing, but it makes me feel a little bit better because Zemla is playing a lot better. And they're coming off of back-to-back shutouts. So that could be something to work with. But, yeah, it's not looking so good as well.
Well, to your point about Glesnes, and it's what we've seen from Bedoya, is he probably needs to be in a smaller role. He probably is not a 90-minute player. And unfortunately, as a center back, you're not subbing your center backs. You're not rotating them. Like, as a center back, you need to be able to play the full 90 of every game for that consistency and stability. The advantage for Ali as a midfielder is he can kind of come and go. He can come off the bench. He can not play some games. He can start some games, and he'll be fine. But it makes me wonder if Jakob Glesnes, especially coming off of the hernia surgery at the end of last year and all the games that he's logged and everything. I mean, he's statistically one of the highest for this, not only this club, but like around the league in some stats of like minutes played and things like that. Maybe this is the regression of needing a Damian Lowe to step up, and Glesnes maybe needs off for a little while. I don't know. It just feels like he's not where he was. I agree with you. He's not the same. And it's not even just defensive. It's the passes out the back. It's the missed clearances, the decision making. Like he's reading the game a bit slower, it feels like, than what he was before, where he's not seeing things as concisely. So Andre definitely clearly was a big part of that. And there needs to be something that can change.
Yeah.
ASAP.
I would definitely consider a 3-back set. Listen, I don't know if it's gonna work. Like it's a dart in the wall. Obviously, when you're in a 3-back set, you kind of are like you have to defend. Like you're on an island essentially with those other 2 guys. But the Montreal, let me double check because they in the past have ran. Yeah, so Montreal's still running a 3-back set. So this Saturday could be a good chance for them to run back out in that 3-back set. So something that they need to try something else, because this 4-4-2 diamond, people figured it out. This team is not working as a cohesive unit in it. So maybe a formation change with some of these players may be beneficial there.